We've got a pretty chilly morning out there. It's still 41 in Lexington, but upper 30s in Frankfort, the same in Richmond. So we are seeing some colder spots. In fact, Monticello down to 36 degrees. You get down to around the mid-30s, that's where you're most likely to see some patchy frost. So there may be a few locations that end up on the frosty side this morning, but clearly something's up heading into the remainder of the weekend. The weekend, it is a warming trend. We've got this big dominant ridge of high pressure, and look at the temperature rise from slightly above average today and tomorrow to well above average into the weekend. We could be pushing 80 degrees here in mid to late October. That's some pretty warm stuff, 10 degrees or more above our average high. Do watch out for some fog this morning. That's also a potential issue on the roads. 0.3 of a mile visibility in Ashland. You got about a half mile down towards Harlan and Zip in Williamsburg. And the Max Track, the influence of high pressure fairly obvious when you just can't find anything to track beyond colder air. That is pretty much right below where the core of that high is. You've got our frost advisories, our freeze warnings out. West Virginia into Virginia, extending all the way down the mountains of western North Carolina and out towards parts of D.C. there. We've got our far northeastern counties, Grayson County, or I should say Grayson, Carter County up towards Greenup. They're in on that frost advisory. Most of us, it's not a widespread enough threat to see the advisory issued, although I think next week we do have a better potential to not just see some patchy frost, likely a frost advisory, but maybe even a number of locations down closer to freezing. We've got our big ridge in place, and this is just going to meander around, work its way west, and then eventually cut off to the northeast into the weekend. And as that high holds, we just keep that southerly flow going, so we've got that nice warming trend day by day. We just tack a little more onto that high until we run into a wall at the end of the weekend, and the driving force behind that is going to be a cold front and then a trough digging in behind it. So we just showed you surface temperatures. Now we're showing you the upper level wind flow and that colder air locked up behind this frontal boundary. As that tracks in, brings some shower and storm chances late in the weekend. Watch the clock. This is Tuesday into Wednesday of next week. Big upper trough, colder air digging into the Great Lakes and down into the Commonwealth. So we could see our coldest air of the season trying to take hold. Still some question as to how far south this is going to dig. But we've got the big warm-up over the weekend, and at some point, you know it's going to give that cool down next week. Tuesday, Wednesday looks to be the core of it. Highs around 70, sunny, warm, spectacular. We keep this train going into the weekend. Mid-40s overnight, clear and chilly tomorrow. Low 70s with mid-70s south. Friday, mid-70s here, upper 70s south. And the end of the weekend, we're all in the upper 70s, pushing that 80-degree mark. And you notice we keep it dry all the way through the weekend until you hit about Sunday night into Monday. That's where the shower and storm chance starts to fire as our cold front drops in. And I do think we will see some fairly significant change next week. Tuesday, some lingering showers, upper 50s. Yeah, that's a high in the 40s. We're not even remotely close to that for overnight lows as you go through the weekend. But, boy, we're going to be doing it next week, so get ready for that big change heading our way.
Yeah, but that's almost a week out. So you know what? I'm not even going to think